Ndị be anyị kenekwanụ m unu. Anyị si ka nke onye chiri ya zelu. Anyị si n'ụbọchị nkịta mara na anyị na mma na ihe adị ka echi na echi ada agwụ agwụ. Otu anyị kwuru ya, otu akọ ya dịrịrị. Ise ise dịka o si dị ka agbapụ na ọsọ wetara ya bụ ihe nke anyị ji maka ya wee bịa n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị uruchi nketa na Eastern News 24 ebe anyị si wee wetara ya bụ ozi unu jega ịnụ ugbu a n'iru akwụkwọ. Dịka o si ada ya bụ gbasịta maka insecurity nke dị n'obodo a. Maka nwere ife mere oge gara aga anyị tinyeburu na ife ihe Reverend Fada Ebemonso kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ si na ife na-eme n'obodo a n'aka gọọmenti dị ya. Yes, he said it all. Okay, gwagodunu m biko tupu anyị etinyere na ya bụ ihe nje gị ugbu a n'iru akwụkwọ, biko gee ntị ọfụma. Kee ka ihe esi gwa m na ụmụaka kidnapụ Azụka nke bụ na-representi Ọnịcha na House of Assembly Ọka, agwa anyị na-ejidego ndị niile ahụ. Now na the same prison custody ka fa nọ agwakwazi anyị na ndị a niile agbago ọsọ na ha agbago ọsọ. Nna sị gwegoro anyị eziokwu ihe na-eme n'obodo a. Yes, si gwegoro anyị na eziokwu ife na-eme n'obodo a. Aka gọọmenti adị n'ihe na-eme n'obodo a ka ọ na aka gọọmenti adịghọ. The insecurity a na-eti mkpu n'obodo a, aka gọọmenti esokwene ya ka ọ na gọọmenti esoro. Ọ gwara ka ọ ha m n'ọnụ gee ya bụ ife anyị ji maka ya wee bịa. Ị ga-esi edropụrụ anyị fiche n'ụdị nke gị. All right, over to you.
Engaged in my own private activities. I'm an entrepreneur, and all my life, and I've been self-employed, so I know what it takes to run things. In terms of managing the economy, human beings, and creating wealth, creating employment. I know the problems of the state. I am exposed. I was actually trained in one of the best leadership institutions in the world, which is Russian Friendship University in Moscow, where leaders are trained from all over the world. So I'm a trained leader. So I've shown this.
You're trained by the communists.
Well, that's not really communism, as a matter of fact. We had world-class training, you know, what you guys in America could refer to Ivy League. My school had produced about 20 presidents of the world, so that wouldn't be just communism. So for that reason, I know what the problems of the state are. I'm a community leader, and I've been involved in affairs of Anambra State. I understand where the bones are buried, and in practical terms, I can easily hit the ground running.
And in terms of where those bones are buried, I mean, is it a cupboard or is it a cemetery?
Well, the issue is that our problems are very, very many, but the most pathetic one is problem of insecurity. So as far as security is concerned, you might not understand my level of involvement even in national security, but you know, that's not what I want to discuss on the national television. But in the communal areas, certain stabilities have been achieved in our own areas of dominance, you know, abroad in our state. But beyond that, I understand quite well how much technology can help in security. And as a concerned Nigeria, I had introduced one of the best security equipment, technology equipment that had aided Nigerian security way from the early days of Boko Haram, which if not applied, Boko Haram would have actually wiped out Nigeria. But that's story for another day.
Right. Let me delve deeper then into that issue of insecurity, because as you correctly identified, it's a major problem.
Very major.
Is there something that you can cite? I mean, you mentioned, you know, technology, that's a very broad term. I mean, is there something that you can cite specifically as what will be your sort of all-encompassing steamroller policy on insecurity if you get in? If so, what is that?
It's very simple. We've lived in Anambra State in recent past, where Anambra was rated as the most secured state in Nigeria. And it was so because we had a government that took security as a number one priority. So for me, it would be number one, number two, and number three. So with that, so you have to show interest. You have to prioritize that. With that having been done, you have to provide adequate resources that is required to deal with it. But you see, Anambrarians are not prone to crime. We are very peace-loving people. Some of this stuff you see that is going out of hand, this issue of kidnapping and all that, that because the economic situation in Anambra is so bad. The government policies are anti this common people who are driving the Okada, who are locally doing their own business. Businesses are running away from Anambra State.
And so you blame the Soludo government for that?
Oh yes, he has to be blamed.
Well, I mean,
so first for them, you need to provide a robust economy that will offer these young men, you know, an alternative. All right, so it's not just enough to be whipping them off.
But you have to manage your resources within the context of what you actually have in the state. I mean, you can say things and, you know, do things, but when you've actually got the resources, when you've got the money in your hand that is available to the state, and you've got responsibilities, salaries to be paid, bills to be paid, debts to be paid, and then after that you assess what is left over. I mean, it challenges anybody.
Yeah, Charles, I run multiple businesses. I create wealth. I have over 1,000 employees. I pay salaries on daily basis. That's not a problem. We have more than enough resources in Anambra State, and the potentials that abide in Anambra State can be quadrupled within 6 months of my governance.
Right.
And besides, the problem today is not lack of resources, because the government goes on with over 2 billion naira every month for security, but not 100 million is spent on security matters. No single walkie-talkie has been provided for any police station in any part of Anambra State. Not even spare tire has been bought for that.
Well, they might dispute that.
Well, they may, but it's an open secret. We all live in that community. We're not alien to that community. We see them, we talk to them, because we provide all these things for them.
Well, let me ask you this. Charles Soludo's supporters say amounts to a kamikaze mission to try to run against Governor Soludo and his APGA party, which is deeply embedded in Anambra State. I mean, APGA is the party, not just a party. They say neither you nor anyone else in the APC can come near to sinking their candidate, and that they can easily fend you off. What's your reaction to that?
Now, living in the past, APGA has never been the party for Anambra State. PDP had been, as a matter of fact. We know the composition of APGA and composition of PDP. And APGA had never won an election on their own. They have always relied on collaboration with the center. Second tenor of the P2B APGA, his victory was aided by PDP. The first tenor of Obia, not the same thing. The second tenor, so we know how they make their victory. I wouldn't want to let them know how bad it is. It's left for them to live in that delusion. But the rest are sure that yes, every incumbent who is running for second term naturally has his own advantages. But for this case, the situation is so bad, and Soludo knows it, and they have to say what they have to say to give hope. It's a hopeless situation. I wouldn't have been in this case if I hadn't made my own assessment to see how disgusted the people of Anambra from different groups. He has discredited the church. The traditional institutions are destroyed, and then there's no direction. Today, the governor is talking about traditional worshippers. Tomorrow, he's talking about you know, how you have to bury your dead, and tomorrow, you know, I mean, it's just, you don't really know what the policy is. You don't know the policy thrust of the government and the direction. So, I really think that I'm glad they think of themselves this way, but I pray I have the ticket. and they know already what it will look like when the time comes.
I was going to say that you'd have to first of all get past the APC primary in Anambra State. Because I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yes.
That's your immediate priority.
Of course. So I'll come back here to tell you why.
So you would need to emerge as the candidate.
Correct.
How do you assess your chances with that?
Well, you see, we have very competent.
That's taking place in April, isn't it?
Yeah, that should be specifically on April 5th.
Yeah.
We have very, very competent, qualified friends who also running in APC. Simply because before I got in there was only one aspirant. But I got in there and opened the floodgate for that aspirant because I was able to clean up what it is that would have been looking at as a stumbling block for APC to have that widespread. So it is now the party of choice in Anambra State. To me.
Some would say that's a forlorn dream.
Well, for anybody who thinks differently, it's a personal opinion. But with the flood of people moving from one political party to the other, you are just seeing those who are contesting. But there are hundreds of thousands of other people who are joining now. So compared to those guys, I think that I have a better opportunity to win the election for the party, considering that you have an incumbent who is from Anambra South. Anambra South is the senatorial zone. So what it means that if your ticket goes to Anambra South, you forget it, it's a wasted ticket. So I'm from Anambra Central, which has 7 local government areas, with 60% of the entire voting population of Anambra State in Anambra Central. I am a very notable key figure in Anambra State, and they lead.
Ndị banyị ngwadalụ dị nenu dịkunu si wee na-esola anyị n'iru akwụkwọ dịkunu nụrụ ife nwanne nwoke kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụdị nke ya ka efi were ikwu gbasata maka ya bụ ihe ndị a niile rụtụgasị aka n'ụdị nke gị gịnị ka i were ikwu drọpụra ya na comment section below ana ọzọ dị ka ịbịa pụtụsakwa ya bụ ozi